Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
I am Sesame. I, like everyone else, I'm average in intelligence in every other facet of human existence. I am wearing a weird headband that zaps my brain every time I try to have a complex thought in Carta.
Okay, this is going to be fun. I don't know how to break it to you, but I don't think I'm going to enjoy recording this episode if you're just going to be average.
I cannot help it. I am wearing a headband authorized and forced by the government to wear. I cannot take it off. Otherwise, the police will come
Tell
and
you
arrest
what,
me.
I talked to the police. They gave me permission to allow you to take it off.
Is this true or is this a trick?
I'm working for the police because I bought a police badge on Temu for like $3 or something, and it kind of looks real. So that means I work for the police now.
All right, we're good. I'll take it.
Okay. Yes.
I'm not going to record doing that.
So, no. So the film today that we're covering is a made-for-TV movie called Harrison Bergeron. I mean, at first I thought this might be a movie about somebody related to Tom Bergeron, the former host of Dancing with the Stars, but no, it wasn't. And but yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this short film is, I mean, not short film, this film is based on the short story by Kurt Vonnegut Jr., which was written in 1961, and it's a dystopian short story. The film deviates a lot from the short story, but the central idea is similar. I guess there's another short film, I started to watch it, based on that called 2081 that stars Armie Hammer, of all people.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Cannibal himself.
Yeah.
It's like a 25-minute short film. You can find it on YouTube, as we found this as well. So, because this is like not available, like I guess streaming or on video anywhere.
Well, it's on VHS, but it would be hard to find it.
Yeah, I mean, like currently, it's not released anywhere except for on VHS. Yeah. So this movie came out in 1995. The short synopsis here from the Internet Movie Database is: in a distant future, egalitarianism has created a truly equal state. The cost, the sacrifice of everything great about humankind. The question, is peace worth the price?
Ooh.
Yes, this was directed by Bruce Pittman, who is known for directing Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2. Also, a bunch of like TV series like the Billy Ray Cyrus TV show Doc, the TV series Mutant X, TV show Due South, which is a very underrated show, which I highly recommend watching if you've never seen it. Due South, it's really good. An 80s TV and 90s television series, which was co-produced.
I think I've
through Canada, and then the music was all done by Jack Lenz from Who's a Baha'i, who I've met. So
he also did Little Moth on the Prairie. He did the music, some of the music for that.
He also did some of the music for the last. Over the Passion of the Christ.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so kind of weird.
The Willy Wonka equal too, right? The Willy Wonka from like 2005 or something like that.
Did he?
I think he
don't
did
know.
some.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not, but I thought he did some of the music for that. But who knows? I'm quoting I'm not saying it's definitely. I'm not sure, but decent movie. I would say it was for Showtime. I was wondering because they said like fuck a lot, and I was like, this cannot be a made-for-TV movie. But then it's like Showtime. Like, oh, okay, well that makes sense because of the scenes and the cussing. All right, gotcha. I could tell it wasn't made in theaters just by watching. I could sort of tell. Just didn't have that feel.
Definitely a movie feel. Yeah, this was, like I said, it was written based on the story by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. Also, the TV movie was written by Arthur Krim, who only wrote this, and John Klaxon, who wrote Julian Poe, Alexander Graham Bell, The Sound and the Silence. Yeah, and some other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And movie stars Sean Astin as Harrison Bergeron, Miranda de Pencier as Phillipa, Eugene Levy as President McCloskey, Howie Mandel as Charlie of Chat with Charlie, Andrea Martin as Diana Moon Glampers. So you got two SCTV veterans on this with Andrea Martin and Eugene Levy, which is interesting. Christopher Plummer as John Klaxon. Got Peter Bortesky as Newman. Nigel Bennett as Dr. Eisenstock. A very young Manuel Shrieky as Janine. You've got very young Hayden Christensen as Eric. You got Roger Dunn as George Bergeron. Matthew Ferguson as Garth Bergeron, and many others. Many more. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's interesting. This is like a very young, like I said, Emmanuel Shrieky and Hayden Christensen, who would both go on to be more famous for other things. Like like Emmanuel Shrieky played Lana Lang Cushing on Superman and Lois recently, and among other things. So and then Hayden Christensen we know as Anakin Skywalker, and a far superior movie to those Star Wars movies. We know him from Shattered Glass. So
absolutely, so much superior than those movies. Great, I love that movie so much. God. This movie was pretty
greatest movies ever made. I said that's one of the greatest movies ever made. But anyways,
it's really top notch. This movie, it was right up my alley. I mean, I think it could have been, the pacing could have been a little bit better. But again, this is Showtime in 1995. This is before. I mean, they were still doing original movies like for HBO and Showtime, but like they didn't really put the emphasis like nowadays. Like a Netflix movie is going to be almost like the same quality you'll find like in a movie. It's different culture back then, when it came to...
or like a Hulu movie such as Eenie Meenie, which was filmed partially in Toledo, Ohio, and I appear in as a background extra. Check that out on Hulu. Okay, anyways.
Absolutely. So but yeah, I liked it. It was an interesting movie. It's very dystopian in some ways. But how it is.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, recently we covered Idiocracy, and this kind of has a similar vibe in certain ways, but in almost an opposite way in certain ways too. So it's interesting.
Yeah. It's like a polar opposite, because in Idiocracy, the people get stupid just by chance over time, whereas in this, it's a controlled society. We'll get into it, but like it's.
So, what goes down in Harrison Bergeron town?
That's got a nice ring to it. So it takes place in like 2050 or something like that. There was a second American Revolution that happened in 2018, and millions of people apparently died in it, mainly because only 15% of the country was employed, I guess, at some point. And so obviously when that happens,
Did I miss all this?
Did you?
I mean, you said it happened in 2018. Did I miss all that?
Well, no. I mean, so like we live in a parallel universe, right? So that happened in a different,
it didn't really happen. Okay.
Not here. No, you're all good. Don't worry, you're all set. You don't need your band like tightened or have more zaps in it. You're good.
When was that?
And so
I just got zapped though.
You got a little zap. It's like, it makes you. So it's wasted. But what happens is that the revolution happens, millions of people die. Supposedly, we don't really know if that's true or not. And this sort of false egalitarian society is created where everyone has to be average. So like nobody could stand out as being like super smart or great at something. And someone who's like quote unquote stupid, like they need like to be like lifted up a little bit. So like they have these things like they call bands they wear on their head. So if someone's too smart, they try to make the band mess with their brain waves to make them a little bit more dumb. And if someone's like way too dumb, then they do it so the opposite where they're like a little bit smarter. And that's how
we dial it up and down based upon your on your to get you to what they call a perfect IQ of 100.
Right. Which is interesting. So like in the first, like it's really weird because like you'll see a scene where they're in a classroom setting and they're handing out papers, and like the first thing that goes, was it like you what was it? Oh yeah, it's like you got a B minus. It's like you got a B plus last time, so you're showing great improvement. Like it's better to get a B minus than to get a B plus, like because then that means you're too smart or whatever. And then our bro Harrison here got an A. And like everyone's like mad at him and like making fun of him because he hasn't quote graduated yet because he's getting too good of grade. It's just so dystopian. Like, and his teacher's like, "Hey man, like you gotta stop being so smart, bro. I'm gonna send you to another doctor because your guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. I know a guy who's really gonna fuck with your head, so you should go see him." And then he's like, "Oh, I guess so." He goes to this dude and he's like tightening his band and shit. And he's like, "All right, we'll go try it out, whatever." And then he's like super smart too, but like he gets these like jolts where he like stutters and stuff because like it's also affecting his brain, as well, or whatever. And then he goes home and he's like playing chess with his younger broham. And, it's like everything's just like so boring. Like the TV shows they watch are just like lowest common denominator you can have.
They have to have like the perfect balance of stuff in the shows because they can't be like too funny or not funny enough. They got to be like balanced and stuff. Yeah. And basically, you just end up with Big Bang Theory.
Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much what that is. It's like appeal to every single audience somehow, which means that nobody's really pleased with it, except for Big Bang Theory was for some reason insanely old show, but that's the whole other thing. But by the way,
maybe I'm being too harsh to Big Bang Theory. It's more like Two Broke Girls. So
yeah, a little bit like that. And so it like there's lots of game shows. Of course, a lot of it's kind of like satire against our actual world, the shitty shows that people watch. Yeah, real. And one of them is this talk show where this guy's he's interviewing a plumber. Nothing against plumbers, but the fact that like that's the guest of the show. Like he's like, yeah. You couldn't be a plumber for like 30 years. You probably have some funny stories, right? And he's like, yeah. One time I went to this house and I was gonna fix a leak in the bathtub, and the kid lets me in, and then I get over, and then his mom comes in. It turns out that I went to the wrong house, but they had a leak too, so I went to both houses. I'm like, oh my god, that's the story. Like, it's like
just to be clear, this is a plumber and not Christopher Plummer, who also appears in the movie.
No, don't go. Yeah, definitely. Christopher Plummer is in the movie, but not he's not a plumber. Well, you could say the sense that he's plumbing. Like that, I can't make an analogy anyway, but like my band's too tight. I'm losing my bugs. But and so obviously the band's not working. His brain is able to resist any kind of interventions that they got for him. Meanwhile, they're trying to get him married to this girl who's like really really stupid. Like no offense, but like, and they're hoping that if they have kids, they'll like even out basically. Like, which that's not how that works. But like whatever. Like. It's both. It's like Idiocracy and this movie both dangerously like it's like eugenics, because it's like the idea that like if you have a kid, that kid's automatically going to be either as smart or as dumb as you are, and it's like
It's similar to what basically like RFK Jr. is saying about things like people with that are neurodivergent and stuff, and trying to say that that's wrong and that we need to cure that. And they're convinced that it can't be that it's genetic. It's got to be. It's kind of. They're going for the genetic thing where it's just like this, but so they think it's like in RFK Jr. thinks it's genetic. I mean, not genetic. He thinks it's done by environmental issues like vaccines or the dye in our food or seed oils or bullshit like that. So yeah, but yeah,
and the proof of that too is that I exhibit very similar characteristics to one of my uncles, and I'm neurodivergent of some capacity. And my mom shows symptoms of another kind of neurodivergence, but that's not genetic. We just all happen to take the same vaccine somehow, right? In different time periods, of course, because they're like 30 or 40 people die. So like,
you guys all like eating like Mike and Ike's or something, and then that just caused it.
That's what it was, apparently, according to this idiot. But he needs to have his band tightened a little bit to actually juice it up to be a little bit smarter. So,
if you want to watch a good video about RFK Jr., I recommend the Bituation Room with Francesca Fiorentini. She just released a long form video about RFK Jr. and all the bad things he's done in the last 8 months. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and so like they're trying to get him paired off, married. He still hasn't graduated yet. He's way older than like all the other kids in this class because he's too smart. And like the other thing too is like he has to be honest, so he can't he's not supposed to like get wrong answers on purpose. He's supposed to stupider basically, and so he's got integrity by being honest about being too smart, I guess, for the world.
It's like you can't cheat by giving the wrong answers. So yeah,
right. He's like an honest man. He doesn't want. So he's got integrity by being too smart, I guess. I don't know. And so he and by the way, they like show like live executions on TV, and it's like usually for like the most ridiculous shit, like shoplifting. This other guy, he did tax fraud or evasion or something like that. And so that's fun, I guess. And
that's kind of prescient to like the world that we're in now too, because people are getting arrested and sent away for stupid shit like that now too. So yeah.
Yep. And like the way they even display it, it's like not even such a big deal. Like they just kind of do it and then like it's done. Like it never went back to whatever they're doing. In this case, he's playing chess with his younger brother. He likes chess a lot, and that comes handy for the rest of the movie. And basically, his doctor, the new doctor that his teacher sent him to, is like, "Hey, bro, I'm gonna actually need to do brain surgery on you because like the shit's not working. Your brain is just too smart. It's it up. Like it won't. Our bands won't work on you. So what we really need to do is drill 2 holes into your head, basically a lobotomy, I guess, essentially is what that would be. And and then you won't be so smart anymore, and it'll be awesome. But hold on, there's a little twist here. So his mom's kind of like, I don't know, is that risky? He's like, oh no, it's totally easy, it's no big deal. And he's like, oh, can we do it? He's like, is tomorrow too soon? He's like, oh no, it's great. We can come back in tomorrow. And he's like, okay, cool. He's like, oh, can I have a word with your son alone? And I'm like, ooh, what's this about? It's just going to be some weird, like, I kind of figured something. I'm like, oh, I bet you he's going to take him aside. And he's going to be like, hey, man, I'm just pretending to be a doctor. And I was fucking right. I was right. I had no idea, but I was fucking right. I was like, yes, I knew something like that was going to happen. I was fucking right. And so he's like, hey, bro, like, your mind's going to, like, suck tomorrow. So, like, here, you could go to this thing called a head house. My mind went to something really bad when they said that. It's
funny because it's basically a head house is basically like a brothel you can go to have like intelligent conversation with like smart women.
That's literally what it is. Like if your brain can handle what that is. And so he's like, hey man, like this is going to be the last night you ever have of like having a cool brain. So like you should probably go ahead and do that. And he gives her the address to like 28 Oak Street or something. I don't know. And then, and so he goes there and it's, again, like a brothel. All these women are dressed like very sensually and stuff. What I don't understand though is how come there wasn't any men there? Because obviously it's not a sexual thing. So how come there's no smart men? How there was no women? They're trying to say only men are smart, or I don't know, like,
or maybe they're separate. Like maybe there's a head house that's full of dudes that are smart.
Oh, but what if you're okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And so she's like the madame, it's showing him around to all these beautiful women, and he ends up going with the chess master because he likes chess a lot. So then she's wearing like this really sensual red dress. They go upstairs. He pays the madame like $50 or whatever. You think $50 is really not that much money. That's a pretty good deal for an hour of chess, really, with the beautiful
2053. By 2050,
that's what I'm saying.
I think $50 will be like able to buy you a Coke. It's just
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of like a good deal if you think about it, an hour at chess with a beautiful woman. So anyway, so they go upstairs and she's kind of flirting with them and stuff. And she's like, hey, you could take your band off. It's no big deal. And he's like, I don't know. Don't they, don't the police or don't they know when we do that? She's like, yeah, who cares? Whatever. And so she takes hers off and then he keeps his on and they're playing for like she kind of beats him within like the first 10. They just play like another. And so eventually the cops come. Oh no, the alarm set off. Oh no, the headband police are coming. They're gonna, bad shit, whatever. And so
the headband police sound like a really bad police cover band.
They do. The police they play like headband songs and like they like
or
they like instead of rock headband. Don't you? Go ahead.
Speaking of prostitutes, yeah. Anyway, so
headband, you have to turn on the alarm lights, or I don't know.
Because you do know Roxanne's about a prostitute, right? So
yeah, I know that. Yeah, you don't have to put on the red light anyway. And so Harrison, our broham here, being gentleman he went and put the headband on her head real fast so that the cops wouldn't think that she had it off. And then she goes, "Don't! I like him. I like him." And she looks up to like the ceiling. Do you hear me? I like him. We're like, "Ooh, she's speaking to someone upstairs. What's going on here?" Oh, the plot thickens, And it turns out that the whole thing was a ruse. There is no head house necessarily, and it's all about taking people who are smart and then offering them basically a job to work at this secret facility where smart people work and they live, but they can't leave ever, and their only companions are the people who live there. So like that's it. They their families will be told that they died from the surgery, and it's going to be really sad, but not really, because they'll just fuck with the frequencies, then the families just won't even remember that they had a family member, which that's kind of even more dystopian, because it's just like they just force them to forget that they even had like a child or whatever. That's like really, that's like some scary shit. And so that's what turns out is like, oh, Harrison's so smart. Would you please join us? And my dad, he's smart too, because I was telling him about it earlier, and he goes, wait a minute. If everyone's average, then how would they be able to run a society? I go, aha, you just discovered the main plot point of the movie, Dad, before you even got into it. Because, as it were, obviously, if everyone's... What's that?
I was going to say, speaking of fathers, by the way, I wanted to mention that one of the TV shows that Harrison was watching earlier when they're flipping through is some show, and on the TV screen you have John Astin and Mackenzie Astin. Sean's adoptive father and his half brother. So yeah,
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
John Astin, most people will know as Gomez Addams in the Addams Family TV show. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And he's basically like told like, hey man, like we're gonna give you a shot here. You say yes, we'll give you some time to think about it, like a day. Oh wow, a whole day to decide whether you're gonna completely change your whole life. And so nice. And but the dude, the main guy, he's like the leader. He basically he drops the plot. He's like, hey, like obviously to have an average society run efficiently, you can't have average people running a society. I'm like, boom, my dad got it right before we even started watching the movie. Like, he's like, you need the smart people or the extra smart people to actually run the shit, or at the very least, usher in the ability for the average people to run the stuff. You can't just have, not trying to be mean, but you just when it comes to certain shit, you just can't have average people doing like brain surgeons or, rocket ship design. You can't. You got to have someone who stand out. And again, it's it's just how it is. It's not not.
You got to have qualified people doing the jobs that are needed to be there. Unlike reality.
Yeah, I love this part too, because he goes, "Well, you mean like senators and presidents?" He goes, "Oh no, those people who for average or even less than average intelligence can do that." I'm like, there we go. That's our world right now with Trump and
Yeah, and you got your like president is Eugene Levy, who is like your typical like brash like guy who says things like can't fuck with us, and he wants to bomb everybody and shit, and it doesn't sound like anybody at all. But anyway, so yeah.
Threatening other countries. But and the other thing too, which also really angered me, is because it's true, is that later on, I'm kind of skipping ahead a bit, but like later on, Harrison is told to drop off some CDs to another conference room or something, but there's already some people in there arguing about something because the U.S. president is threatening Morocco for some reason and is just going to bomb them if they don't submit to his terms. And then one of the guys gives like this impassioned speech about like, you don't understand, like other foreign leaders aren't like our president. They are like subtle and nuanced, and they have to be reasoned with diplomacy and stuff. And then later on, it's like, Morocco has agreed to the president's terms. I'm like, God damn it. It's just like with us, where it's like, well, we're not going to submit to Trump's tariffs. And next day, we are going to submit to Trump's tariffs. I'm like, God damn it. Like, it's just like, unfortunately, it works. Like the fascism word sucks, but it does. And so that kind of made me sad when I watched that. I was like, I don't know what else happens. I'm kind of jumping all over here. But.
So, like he's in there and, Phillipa's in there too. He falls in love with her. Yeah. And she's like not sneaking him. I think she's just giving him so he can, because they're allowed to, like, he can see like classic movies, like It's a Wonderful Life or Buster Keaton films and things of that nature. And also like, listen to like music like jazz and stuff like that people don't know about in the real world. But he falls in love with her and they end up having sex, and he illegally impregnates her because they're not allowed to have like families. These people in this I don't know, what do you want to call it? This like complex that they live in. And
complex.
Yeah. So she tries to escape eventually. And when she's coming back, I guess anybody that tried to escape, they used to kill them, it said. But instead, somebody took her and lobotomized her. And then it's revealed that the guy who's like running things there, that's played by Christopher Plummer, who's named John Klaxon, which is a great name. It turns out that she's his biological daughter. So, yeah. So he's kind of upset that they lobotomized her. But he's also like very much about this thing. Like he's like, Harrison confronts him and says things like, what about, I've been listening to, things like jazz and reading books and watching these movies and stuff. And won't this society end up never creating another, great work of art? And
right.
They're listening to like Beethoven, and he's like, we'll never hear that. There'll never be one. He says, I don't care, but it'll stop us from things like this. And then he shows him like all these like images of war, like World War II and whatnot, and like the atom bomb and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's so yeah.
And it's like this beautiful horrific scene, like
yeah, and you got to basically get rid of you got to throw the baby out with the bathwater, sort of thing, and yeah.
I mean, he said it made him very sad. He just takes this very stoic approach to life, where he's like, if I had to choose between this, I would choose this, because having great music isn't really worth the price of like genocide. But again, he's kind of presenting a false choice between two extreme narratives that necessarily don't line up with each other. Because like, he's trying to say that envy is I'm like, okay, but I'm sorry, dude, Christopher Plummer or whatever, Klaxon, whatever. The Holocaust didn't happen because Hitler was jealous of Beethoven. Like, what? Yeah. Like, it's just like
he was jealous of Wagner. No, I'm joking. Sorry.
Yeah, he was jealous of that fucking weird crypto-fascist German nationalist, supposedly a great composer. I don't really know. I haven't really listened to it, but I don't really listen to classical music that often because I'm not smart enough, I guess. So,
but Wagner was the only like music he would let people listen to. So it's just like,
apparently he was supposed to be really good, but his operas would go on for like 6 straight hours. I'm like, come on, like that's too long, and no one wants to really go. I guess people did though, but also do. But that's it. That's like his false choice that he's like, it's either envy, it's either genocide or Beethoven. Just like, okay.
That's like, okay, it's either, basically it's like either all women are sexually assaulted or we have hamburgers. No.
Right.
There's no.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what the fuck are you saying, dude? Yeah. It's just, and and he's very stoic about it. He is. It does make him sad because like he's like if I had to choose between this and this, I would put the gun to Beethoven's head himself, and then he throws the CD in the fire pit. But then later on, he has a copy. He just plays it again. It's just like.
I mean, that's what he would do. He would put the gun to Beethoven's head and kill him, and then he'd just bring in another Beethoven.
That's what he would do. Exactly. I mean, yeah, they figured out how to clone people by then, so they could just do it or whatever. What I don't understand is a big flaw in this movie, though, because the logic of it is like I can't really pinpoint it, but there's like I can just feel there's like my headband's not working. There's like a fatal flaw of this logic of this entire idea of like, well, we need inequality in order to have egalitarianism, but it's not real egalitarianism because the people don't even know what they're missing. So how could he even have a society like that when people don't even know like that they're being deprived of something? It's just like it's
like you can't have the sour without the sweet sort of thing. It's like but I mean, in reality, like through fascism, you got to create a bad guy anyway. So, it's like, oh, we're the normal people, but trans people or immigrants or whatever are the bad guys. It's like you gotta. That's how you come to the conclusion that this is the normal thing. But like you're saying, yeah, like if above average or below average on certain scales doesn't exist, how do you know what the average is?
Yeah. Just because that's what you're told from the higher up or whatever. And I mean, at least they were somewhat consistent. I mean, this group was, because like they aren't trying to build like a master race because they don't want to create that again all over. So they make sure there's only like a select few, who are on board, so they don't create this kind of competition, which then would just start the whole thing, the whole problem all over again, and
like I was saying too, it's like in societies like with real fascism too, you got the fascism wants to eliminate like people that think differently, whether it be people that are neurodivergent or people that are intellectuals at colleges or scientists or stuff like that. So yeah,
it's just they all wear the same clothes too. What's that?
I said, not that those two can overlap. You can't, you can be neurodivergent and be an intellectual. So I'm not trying to, I'm just saying. Yeah.
I think you could also be a racist piece of shit like Elon Musk, and and so there's that, and and he would not survive in this world. He probably watched this and thought that you would be one of the ones controlling things, but he'd probably be one of the ones below average. But just has a lot of money, and they all wear the same kind of clothes. It's sort of like this like brownish suit kind of thing. Like it's not like a
the people in this place that's controlling everything. Yeah.
I wish they told more about the day-to-day living on that, but again, the movie was only like an hour and a half long, so they probably couldn't go into too much detail. If
they took this version of Harrison Bergeron and made it into like a I don't know, like an HBO TV series or something, it would be kind of cool, but like modern day, but like I said, this deviates a lot from the Kurt Vonnegut book. So
and so to kind of speed through, because not a whole lot happens in the movie, but it's because very much more on the philosophical thing of things, side of things. And by the way, though, I was thinking earlier, I think they should have like head houses in real life, like for real, like where people just go and like talk to someone who's really smart and like stimulates their mind, because that seems, we need that, I think, in our society.
Don't we have those? Aren't those like what you call it? Those political organizations that like decide everything. Like I'm joking. Those what are they called? Where they get like together like there's a bunch of conservative people all get together and then decide what's going to happen. Like I don't know. It was something like that. I'm joking, but no.
I know, but I just like that would be kind of a cool thing to actually have, like not a brothel, but you know what I mean, like something to stimulate your mind or your brain, because I really do think we need that in society.
It'd be cool if you just had a place. I mean, I guess you do. I mean, like, unfortunately nowadays we do have that like third space is kind of disappearing in the world. And I think like a lot of times like a coffee shop or a bookshop or something like that kind of filled that space in the world for something like a Head House. But now we've got, but now a lot of places, we don't have that, I guess some places, like there's a cool coffee shop in my town and stuff like that. But also, even though we do have these places, a lot of times people don't talk to each other. It's just,
right.
You don't have that gathering space. It's more people are just online, going on Twitter or Facebook and just telling people that they hate them and stuff. It's not intellectual discourse on there. Yeah.
The atomization of culture. Yep. Mm-hmm. My community is elsewhere. I've got friends, I'm talking to in California right now, which is fine, but I'm going to ignore like the person right next to me. It's that, I'm not saying you have to choose one or the other, but it's like, it's just, it's interesting. Like you see it too with like religion. You'll see like, let's say a person will drive like, 55 minutes to go to their church when there's like literally a church down the corner. You know what I mean? Because that's not their community, so it's like, it's, yeah, and
I mean, I'm a shy person. I mean, like, I'm not, completely. I'm more of a introvert. But back when I was in like high school and stuff, I used to go to a coffee shop and I would just meet people there. Like I would be hanging out, and some people would come over and be like, "Hey, how you doing, man? What's up?" And like when you want to play checkers or whatever. There were just different people that would want to hang out and you want to play cards, want to do this, or want to. Talk about like, oh, hey, what are you reading? And stuff like that. It was just, but
no
now,
one does that.
But now I could go to a coffee shop and just sit there and everybody's on their cell phone. It's like, yeah.
What someone needs to do, maybe it could be you, is just literally show up and just be like, hey, I'm going to play this game. Does anyone want to join me? And like literally be the first person. Like, I bet you somebody would probably say yes. Like yeah, I think I...
Personally, a lot of people just think I'm like either hitting on them or trying to, be weird. It's just like, yeah.
So I just got to do it. Or are you going to try to get me into a cult or something like that? Like, you got to talk to me about Scientology. It's like, no, man, I'm not going to get... By the way, though, have you seen the light? Speaking of which, brought to you by Carl's Jr. Anyways, I get paid every time I say that. But that's the line from Idiocracy.
Yeah.
But so, really off topic, but was that...
I was going to say, yeah. In this movie, though, what ends up happening is Harrison breaks into like he's working at the TV studio there, so he knows how things are broadcast. So he breaks into the TV studio at gunpoint and basically starts to reveal the truth about society to everyone in the country over the thing. That's the thing I found interesting too, is because they said that this was mainly just like in the United States that this was happening.
Yeah, it's not a worldwide, it's a American thing. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that does kind of show you how like we can just sit back and not care that a whole country is like overtaken by a dictator or something like that, across the globe or whatever, or right next door. Yeah. Or in the country we live in. But
yep.
He goes on for like hours upon hours, just like showing people, like jazz music and It's a Wonderful Life and Buster Keaton and other things like that on the TV, and starts reading poetry to them and really cool like art stuff, and basically trying to tell them and he tells them to take off their bands, and but and his parents are watching it and they take them off and stuff, and it's interesting there that they're watching the incident on TV. A bunch of other people are. I don't know, he can't. They can't concentrate enough. His dad concentrates on things and sees that it's him, and his brother does to a point, but his mom doesn't really know because I don't think she's as smart as them, I guess. Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
That's the way it came off to me. But because I think like in the original book, his dad's really smart and has to wear these things, these handicaps he's really smart and strong and has to wear handicap things to, like, they make you wear, like, if you're strong, they make you wear weights on you so you're not as strong. It's like
that's right. I forgot that.
Yeah.
I forgot that whole aspect. So, like, sports and shit, they'll like give you, if you're like really good at baseball, they'll make you like have a really heavy baseball bat or some shit, like or golf, like
or if you're like on the TV, they had like this really good dancer on there, and he had to wear like a weight on his legs or something to stop him from dancing as well.
Yeah, and then they said like Oh, let's just send them a scare letter, like basically from the government, like to not let it happen again or whatever, type of thing. To like they're watching golf earlier in the movie, and the guy's like golf putter was like broken in half or some shit, and he had to use that to make sure that everyone's on the equal playing field, even when it comes to sports, which kind of goes in a little bit to the debate, the quote unquote debate we're having in this country about trans people in sports of an unfair advantage and everyone needs to be equal. It's like, it's a sport. It's a competition. There are winners and losers because that's what sports is.
That I wonder because like they're like he's talking on the TV to his parents and he says, "Hey, the Packers are going to the Super Bowl again this year." It's like, okay, so if everybody's average, how do they get to the Super Bowl?
What it is, I think, is the team that's least qualified gets to go because the other team has the handicaps on them, I guess. Who knows?
But either way, that's not egalitarian. That's like, because if anything, all the teams would be in the Super Bowl.
Right. Exactly. It's just they didn't really think that much through, or they couldn't really.
There wouldn't be winners for any games, and there wouldn't be a Super Bowl. It's like,
yeah. There's a scene where they're doing the TV when they're like, it was very interesting how they're deciding on what to do with TV shows, and like they have to make it absolute. Like he's like, "What do you think, Harrison?" He's like, "It's terrible." He's like, "I know, it's perfect." Like they made it like that intentionally. He's like, there was a few clever jokes in there. We might need to delete those later on. Like, like,
you've got the guy who's kind of in charge of that, and he's played by Buck Henry, which is kind of cool because he's like a well-known, comedian. He hosted SNL a lot in the 70s, and he co-created Get Smart with Mel Brooks and stuff like that. So he's, it's kind of cool to have him be the one that's saying that's too funny and stuff like that. It's just, yeah.
Like we gotta get those clever jokes, and like also too about like what was it like? Each kid's got their own pets, but they want to make it seem like one animal is preferred over the other or something like that, or like.
Yeah, and like Harrison at one point came up with an idea for a TV show that kind of sounded like Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street, where it would teach kids, how to live in society better or something like that, where they could all fit in. But then the response to creating that show is we don't do educational television because there might be kids that can't see the TV.
Right, or don't watch it. So then
so
be unequal to zap their brains. And it's that's what Phillipa even said. She was like, that's the beauty and the horror of this place, is that everything's anticipated beforehand. Like anytime you try to think of something, they've already got an answer for it. It's like, like,
but yeah,
this movie gets me off. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but yeah, then what happens here? They break in and they get him out of there, and then what happens?
Oh, so they like had to use literal lasers to cut through the steel because it's like, and then the dude punches him when the police guys and Klaxon or whatever his name is. It's like, hey, your little stunt didn't really work, so fuck you. And he's like, oh goddamn, I did this for all for nothing. He's like, yeah, like. Some people liked it. Most people just kind of put their bands on their head. I don't know how true that. You might just be lying about that. Most people, they just put their headbands right on. They just went back to what they were doing. They didn't really appreciate it, which is kind of cool because, you kind of proved the theory that I was always wanting to do, because I always felt kind of bad about, not letting them watch cool shit, but now that you did it and no one really seemed to care, it kind of proves my point, basically. He's like, only 1.3%. He's like, yeah, but it's like, still, that's like 3 million people. That's a lot of people to like create, some problems, so like, which, it kind of, it is interesting because like a lot of times, not to go on like a weird tangent here, but a lot of times people tend to think that like you need like an enormous amount of people to make like societal change. Like you don't actually like everyone. Or like
it's like the thing where people are like, what is me speaking up going to do? But yeah, it's just
or like my vote doesn't matter, and like there's been like literally thousands of elections throughout history that were decided by one vote. Like it happens a lot more than people think it does. Like maybe not one vote, but like 10 votes, 100 votes. Yeah. All those people, hundreds of people, was like, I'm just gonna sit this one out. Well, they lost by 100 votes. You could have been one of the 100 that voted, the other way.
Local like elections that are decided by less than 100 votes. So it's true.
It happens a lot more than like people would think. Like, I'm not saying it happens like every day, but it happens a lot more frequently than what people would assume would happen, because you think, well, how could it like happen like that all the time? Like, well, it kind of does a little bit. And so he's like, hey man, like that still means like 3 million people saw your shit and really liked it. That's a problem. So what I'm gonna need you to do, bro, is I'm gonna need you to go on TV and basically do like the War of the Worlds bullshit and be like, hey, it was a hoax. I was just doing a bit here. Nothing you saw was real. I was just acting. I was tricking you guys. Ha ha ha. It was awesome, right? And if you do this for me, I will keep you informed on the love of your life's life, who now is lobotomized, and and you could like know, I guess, her life of being not smart anymore, which that would actually seem to be torturous. So how would that even be a selling point for him to do? Like, if anything, that would be a disincentive, which it turns out it is, because my dude here does the whole Buffalo politician guy who just fucking killed himself on air back in the 80s, but he did it in 2057. Whatever. My bro takes a fucking gun.
He goes on that Charlie Chat with Charlie show that's hosted by Charlie, who's played by Howie Mandel. Almost every actor in this movie is Canadian except for Sean Astin.
Yeah, that is interesting. I wonder if it was like Canadian.
It was a co-production between Canada and America, and it was shot in Canada. So, yeah.
Well, that makes sense, because didn't you tell me a long time ago that Canada has like certain rules about like there has to be so many Canadian actors or people involved? Yeah, okay. I actually kind of agree with that law. I think that's
like one of the actors in it, it was like, who was it? Like let me look at the trivia here. Here it is. It was Emmanuel Shrieky's debut film. Like I said, there's also Andrea Lewis's debut, and she was regular on Degrassi: The Next Generation. So
okay, there he goes. That's another one of those staples of Canadian time.
Mm-hmm.
And so my bro shoots himself with a gun that looked like it was made in 1960, so like 100 years before what they're living in. They got fucking lasers now. And he's like, no, I'm going to go out the old-fashioned way. Don't give me fucking lasers. I'm just going to fucking shoot myself. And that kind of pissed me off, because I wasn't expecting that and didn't want that to happen, but whatever. And then so he dies, obviously, and they're like, cut to play the music, play music. It's But what's made me really sad, though, is like it didn't have any effect on just like his sacrifice, like basically was like for naught. Like him playing the stuff didn't do anything, him killing himself because like his own parents saw it on TV. They're like, what just happened? He's like, I don't know, something sad, I think. So it's like their own son killed himself on air, and they don't even like
it did have some impact, though.
Barely. Very minimal.
We have the final scene. There's a young boy and his friend get together in his bedroom to watch the first 4 hours of Bergeron's broadcast without their bands on. So they take them off. And then the mother looks up the stairs, and we realize that the mother is Phillipa. And so the boy is his kid, played by Hayden Christensen. So
he does not even look at all like him, in my opinion. I could bear resemblance.
If it was Hayden Christensen, which is weird. Yeah, and then
I believe.
The way I could tell is when he smiled.
Oh, okay.
That was like what sold it for me. But I mean, this is like Hayden Christensen, like at puberty. It's not like Anakin Skywalker. Yeah. This
is 8 years before. Oh wow, that's only 8 years before Shattered Glass. He grew up like fast then, like because he looks like a little kid in this movie, and because Shattered Glass came out in 2003, this came out in 95. That's only 8 years. That's not.
Hayden Christensen was born in 81, so he would have been
14 when this. Maybe they made it in 94, maybe. So he would have been like 13.
Yeah, like I said, he's like right at puberty. Yeah, and so So basically, we have this movie that we have an actor from Star Wars, we have an actor from Star Trek, and we have an actor from The Lord of the Rings, all in this movie. So
Encino Man, come on.
No, but I'm saying 3 different actors. There is what I was. Yeah.
No. And I was just cracking a little bit of a joke here with Encino, which is weird because in that movie, they find a prehistoric man, and then they teach him how to live according to 1991 California values, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it was a sad movie ending. I did not like the ending at all. It kind of pissed me off, it pissed me off even before when they did the brain because like she was super smart, and it just broke my heart that they did that to her. Right?
And I mean, I think that was, I didn't like it, but I liked it though because of the fact that the reasoning behind it made sense. It's like I said, it's different than the short story. Because the short story is more like in the short story, Harrison is 7 feet tall. So
wow, I'm gonna try to read that sometime soon just to see. Yeah, he's according to the character breakdown here on Wikipedia, he's a 14-year-old son of George Bergeron and Hazel Bergeron. He is 7 feet tall, genius, and an extraordinarily handsome, athletic, strong, and brave person. And then, so basically, he's got all of the traits that are too good, or
it's like his dad is a very smart and sensitive character. He is handicapped artificially by the government. His mom is described as perfectly average intelligence, which means that she cannot think deeply about anything. And then there's like all the other characters don't exist in this because there's only like 5 characters. There's another character called the ballerina who is a beautiful dancer who is burdened with an ugly mask and excessive weights, as she is the fairest and most beautiful and most graceful of dancers. Then there's one of the characters' name is used, Diana Moon Glampers, which Andrea Martin's character has that name in the movie, is the handicapped general. She's basically the person that handicaps everybody.
She was in the Murders in the Building, right? The actress in Murders.
Yeah.
Cool.
Andrea Martin is in like tons of things. She's
everything. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but it's interesting that they chose to use that name for her character. Yeah. So yeah,
I know it's a clever name. This reminds me, I want to sometime review. Doesn't have to be like anytime soon because this is kind of depressing. But there's a story called All Summer in a Day, written by, I think Ray Bradbury wrote the short story. I'm not going to get into it because it's to spoil the whole thing. But like, I remember that song I wrote a long time ago, where I was something about like it's been 7 years since I've seen the sun or something like that. That was actually based off. I'm not going to give too much away, but that was based off that short story. They had us read that shit when we were like 13 fucking years old, dude. Like I was so depressed, like reading these stories. It wasn't just this. She had us read. My English teacher, I think she was going through some stuff because she had us read like one depressing short story after another for the entire goddamn. It was this one, and there was a story about this guy who was like severely mentally impaired. And they like gave him like some kind of elixir that like made him super smart, but it actually was killing his body though. And then like in order to save him, they had to like take him off of it. So then he became like, mentally impaired. I'm like, great. Thank you for making us read that one. I appreciate that one so much. I think it was called Flowers or something, or
was it Flowers for Algernon?
Yeah, I think that's what it was, Flowers. And they did like a episode of Sunny in Philadelphia, did like a comedy, like a satire version of that with Charlie.
Yeah, there was also a satire version of it in an episode of News Radio as well.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that one too. Yeah. And there was another one she asked me about, sorry, go ahead, man. I'm like blanking here.
We will check out, I think, the short film version adaptation of All Summer in a Day. It sounds interesting. And one of my Facebook friends stars in it. So Keith Coogan is in it.
Which one in the 70s? Because I'm thinking of one from the 70s. Is there another version, or
there's a version from 82? Yeah, that's probably the one.
Maybe that's the one. Yeah. It's short. It's only like a half hour long. It's not like
it's a 30-minute television adaptation that was broadcast on PBS.
We're not going to have PBS anymore because anyway. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, so we're kind of diverging here, folks. Sorry about that. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Harrison Bergeron?
Nope. No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. Folks, I have nothing else to say either. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you tighten up your headbands and, don't think too much for yourself. I'm just joking.
No.
Think for yourself. Be creative. Be different. Be yourself. That's my favorite. That's my code of life that I've had for my whole life is be different. Be yourself. Also, folks, one thing you can do that, not a lot of people are doing, unfortunately, is go to all2real2.com and check out all of our links there. It's a unique thing. It can make you a unique person. Go there and check out our Patreon. join our Patreon. It's the best way
Join
to
us.
support the show. Also, you can share the show wherever you want on any social media. We've got links to all of our social media there. Be sure to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening to it. Make a comment, give us a like, give us a 5-star review, whatever you can do on whatever platform you're hearing my voice right now. Do it. I command you. No, I'm joking. No.
The headband.
Yeah, the headband commands you. The headband command. It's my new.
Well, I like that.
My headband command band. That's my new band.
I like that.
We just play with rubber bands, and it's just a guy with a rubber band just going ding ding ding. No. So also just remember that no human is illegal. Trans lives are human lives.
Yep.
Free Palestine. Fuck the oligarchy. Fuck fascism. Remember that I love you. Tighten your headband.
Tighten your headbands, please. Thank
Sesame
you.
loves you.
I do.
And until next time.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.